is not a drill. It's already been half a year since we first heard about COVID-19. Millions of people have gotten sick with the disease. Millions of families have been asked to stay in quarantine. And all of us are forced to adapt to the new normal. But what exactly is COVID-19? COVID-19 is a disease caused by a type of coronavirus called SARS-CoV-2 virus. They are called coronaviruses because they have crown-like spike proteins that allows them to enter a respiratory cell. COVID-19, like its other coronavirus cousins, is a zoonotic virus, which is transferred from an animal to a human, spreads from person to person through the droplets in the air when we talk, cough, or sneeze. What's worse about this virus is that, aside from causing coughs and colds, it causes a whole slew of respiratory illnesses, and sometimes even death. What's worse is that hospitals are in mayhem, filled to the brink with the infected, and our economy is down, with businesses closing and some people losing their jobs.
There is no cure, not even a vaccine. What should we do then? Well, we must continue practicing these preventive measures against COVID-19.
One of which is wearing face masks, which filter droplets in the air that we breathe in or breathe out that might contain the virus, as well as wearing face shields which protect our eyes or any external openings on our face that are exposed to these droplets in the air.
Another way is to maintain social distancing,
which minimizes contact with someone who may have the disease, as well as mitigate the risk of being reached by the droplets of an infected person's cough or sneeze. However, there is one really good measure that people tend to overlook, and that is boosting our immune systems.
As much as I hate to say it, the ways we take care of our health are not exactly top-notch. We love to consume junk foods, beverage, and other unhealthy foods that don't even give us the nutrition that we need. Studies show that these products contain substances that are not only detrimental to our physical health, that often leads to illnesses such as obesity, but it also makes us prone to diseases like the COVID-19 virus. To keep ourselves safe, we need to boost our immune system by improving our diet. A way of improving our diet is by making sure we get enough vitamins and minerals. Various vitamins and minerals such as vitamin C, B vitamins, and zinc can help strengthen our immune system. But lately, there is one vitamin that has been stealing all the spotlight from the rest: vitamin D. But how can it actually help us fight this deadly virus?
Studies emphasize the relation between vitamin D deficiency and increased risk of COVID-19. People with vitamin D deficiency are twice more likely to test positive for the disease compared to those who have adequate vitamin D levels in their body. Vitamin D tightens gap junctions, which viruses like to disturb. Wider gap junctions mean increased risk for infections. Vitamin D also produces antimicrobial peptides. These antimicrobial peptides act against respiratory viruses. Lastly, this vitamin reduces cytokine storms, which enhances the severity of COVID-19 and also damage other tissues in the body. The effects of vitamin D does not exclude itself in disease prevention. Vitamin D has also been seen to be a good mood booster. Those people with vitamin D deficiency has been seen to be associated with depression, while those with higher levels of vitamin D in their body had a lower risk for depression. Other benefits of this vitamin include healthy pregnancy and infancy, weight loss for those who want to remove extra pounds, and a decreased chance of heart disease, respiratory infections, and stroke in healthy people.
Are you seeing the importance of vitamin D now? Well, lucky for us, there is still many ways that we can get it, but the one main source people can get it from is through the sun. Our skin actually produces vitamin D3 once it gets hit by the UV rays of the sun. However, the amount of production varies between people depending on factors like skin color, angle of exposure, and the seasons of the year. Unfortunately, because most of us are still in lockdown, it's quite difficult to constantly expose ourselves to the sun.
But what if we tell you that you can actually still get vitamin D3 from LED? Thankfully, scientists in Boston University have developed an indoor system of UV LEDs which simulates the sun's rays in a home environment but with lesser intensity. This technology will allow those in quarantine to have another source of vitamin D without having to bask in sunlight and compromising their safety against the virus. Another way of getting this vitamin is by eating the right kinds of food. Throw away all those unhealthy foods and start eating vitamin D-rich foods such as fish, mushrooms, and egg yolk. Aside from that, taking artificial vitamin supplements can also help. But take note that these should not serve as substitutes to all the other ways mentioned.
Admit it, this pandemic has really given us fear and anxiety, and not knowing where the virus is makes it a lot harder. With the various preventive measures in place, it's still not enough to just rely on these. It takes the effort of everyone to stop the spread of life-threatening viruses like COVID-19.